Destined Rivals. Now, this is more like it. If you've been watching my videos recently, you know that I have some heavy criticisms of Journey Together. I think that this is a set that has been way overhyped. People are buying into it way too much because it's just not worth it. There's not a lot of fan appeal or, investment appeal there. It's an English set, essentially derived from one Japanese set. So, pretty small, not a huge card pool. It does make a master set easier because it's a smaller set, but when it comes to what you can get out of it, I just haven't found it that appealing. It only focuses on 4 trainers, which is something that the fan base, including myself, had overhyped a bit, thinking it was going to be a complete repeat of something like Gym Heroes, Gym Challenge, where we get a lot of characters. And it turns out we were kind of right, because with Destined Rivals, which is going to be our summer set, this is going to be a combination of Heatwave Arena, the Glory of Team Rocket, which is a set that we haven't seen anything of in Japan yet, and the Steven and Marnie trainer decks that we have seen over in Japan and that are not included in Journey Together, which everybody thought they would be. We now have some details about Heatwave Arena, and I was going to wait until more cards were revealed before I did a video on the set, but I feel like there's enough there to be excited about already. We know what the next 4 trainers are going to be. We have Ethan, who is the protagonist from Gen 2. We have Cynthia, which we already knew about. We knew we were getting Cynthia's Garchomp in this set. We have Arvin from Scarlet and Violet. And not featured on the pack, oddly enough, is Misty. So to recap, Destined Rivals, unlike Journey Together, is going to feature Misty, Arvin, Cynthia, Ethan, Marnie, Steven, and Rocket's owned Pokemon. That's a hell of a lineup and does make the Journey Together Destined Rivals duo seem more like Gym Heroes and Gym Challenge, which is nice for an oldie like me. But when you get into it, man, there's going to be some big hitting, exciting cards in this set. You are taking my favorite Pokemon character, which is Misty, and putting her face on some fun cards. I like the Psyduck, I like the Magikarp, I like the Gyarados that have been revealed so far. I'm assuming she's going to get an SIR of maybe not Starmie, since we've already gotten a Starmie V with Misty in it. I am open to all speculation and predictions. Let me know down in the comments what you think the Misty SIR will be, as well as the SIR for all these other characters. I think for Ethan, it's definitely going to be the Ho-Oh EX, which is also exciting for me because Ho-Oh is my favorite legendary Pokemon. And the Pokemon Company has almost never given Ho-Oh a good card. And I actually like Ethan's Ho-Oh EX. I think it's going to be a usable card. I don't know if it's a tier 1 card, but it seems fun, especially for fire decks, which the Ethan shtick is just going to be accelerating fire into play. He's got a Typhlosion, he's got a Macargo that are going to play into Ho-Oh's gimmick very well. So I'm also excited about those Ethan cards, as Gen 2 is my favorite Gen, Ho-Oh's my favorite legendary Pokemon, and those two together seem to have a fun gimmick. The Ethan's Pichu is kind of ridiculous. Am I wrong here? Am I too out of touch with modern Pokemon play? But 0 energy, 30 damage, draw a card? Is that not just the best start to a game you can get? Dealing some chip, drawing a card? Sacred Ash being reprinted probably shouldn't be underplayed either. That's going to slot into a lot of decks very nicely. When it comes to Cynthia, we already know Cynthia's Garchomp's going to be one of the biggest cards out of this set. Cynthia's also a very popular character, one of the top waifu trainers in the franchise. Cynthia-focused Pokemon and supporter cards always sell really well, as they should, because they always look really great. Arvin is actually one of the few characters I liked from Scarlet and Violet. I liked his storyline of trying to save his Mabostiff. It's one of the only story elements that even stood out in that game to me. I didn't really care for Scarlet and Violet, but I do like the Arvin bits in the game. So to see him being utilized as one of the more modern characters represented in this set is pretty nice. But to get those Steven cards and Marnie cards in here, we've got Steven's Metagross and Marnie's Grimmsnarl. There's also some really nice illustrations in these two decks. Marnie is yet another very popular character from Sword and Shield. Steven is as much husbando as Cynthia is waifu. With these 6 characters alone, it's already a better set than Journey Together. It's a set that I would be excited about, not even knowing that the Rocket cards are also going to be rolled into Destined Rivals. And someone on Poke Beach also said it would be a neat inclusion if the R in Rivals was the Team Rocket R in the marketing for the English set. But there's even more excitement and hype that can be generated when we start to find out about the glory of Team Rocket in Japan. We don't even know what that means for the types of cards. We're assuming that it's going to be, Rocket's Pokemon, Rocket's Meowth, Rocket's Raticate, because the Pokemon Company did state that dark Pokemon would not be returning, which is what we saw with the original Team Rocket and with Team Rocket Returns. But if they were wanting to make that set a little closer to what Battle Partners was, then they may break it down. They may break this down into, we're focusing on Jesse and James, Giovanni, Rocket Grunts. We don't know. So there's all kinds of potential there. The cards I would most like to see in this set are probably Tyranitar, Mewtwo, and Persian. I think those are three distinctly Rocket Pokemon from different sources of media. That's probably thinking a little too inside the box, though, because if it's following the same pattern as we've seen with the last couple of sets, they include some cuts for oldies, and they include some newer Pokemon and newer trainers for the people that haven't been in the fandom that long, which is a great approach. So I think what we may actually see is the introduction of Rocket's Pokemon from newer generations, and they're going to really pick some Pokemon that are going to look cool, slightly evil. So imagine a Team Rocket's Miraidon, a Rocket's Hydrapple, or Urshifu, or Ursaluna would be pretty sick. But I think popular includes may even be starter Pokemon. A Rocket's Meowscarada seems like it could work really well. In our last anniversary set, when we got that Dark Sylveon promo, I thought that was a really nice include, because that's something that the Rocket set and Team Rocket Returns did really well, where they take Pokemon that are traditionally cute, slap Dark on there, and give them an evil aura. So there are a lot of options here and what they could do that could be really interesting. Don't want to overhype it too much like I did with Journey Together, but as we get reveals, I think we're going to see some really nice arts. We're going to see some really fun cards, and I think that these two sets together will go down as all-time favorites for a lot of collectors and a lot of players. But that's where we're at with the set right now. Let me know down in the comments, as always, what are you most excited about? Give me your spiciest speculation on cards, on products that you want to see. Personally, I'm hoping they bring over the Stephen and Marty playmats that were included in those Japanese decks. I think they're pretty nice designs. But I'm also looking for a ton of character-specific merch coming out. Give me the Misty deck box. Give me the Misty deck sleeves. Give me some Ho-Oh stuff. We ain't had some good Ho-Oh stuff since, Shining Legends. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next video. I promise I'm still working on some vintage stuff. I just want the entire season complete before I upload it. So stay tuned for those. Probably going to be late spring or summer. Bye-bye.